44% annualized and a return of over $8,000. Hey guys, my name's Shingai and welcome back to another installment of Financial FoolAround, the series where we test ridiculous trading strategies so that you don't have to. This week, we'll be answering the question on everybody's mind. Can we make money suckling on the teat of Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and the rest of the cast at Fox and Friends? For those of you that don't know, Foxnews is a right-leaning news organization that is known for being, quote, detrimental to the integrity of news overall.
So in place of news coverage, people who tuned in got 2 straight hours of unedited campaign propaganda.
But who cares about integrity when the bag is on the line? That's right, just like the Republican Party, Ben Shapiro, and Hassan Abi, I'll be climbing onto the back of Fox News and riding it straight to the top. But why Fox News though? Well, that's simple. Because everyone knows that liberals are young, foolhardy, and most importantly, broke. While conservatives, on the other hand, are old, white, and most importantly, rich. So it goes to figure, if I do what the conservatives do, I should be rich just like conservatives, right? Right?
Wrong.
Well, that's what we're here to find out. First, we need to figure out what's being said on Fox News, right? Luckily, they publish transcripts after the fact, so we can just write a little code here, a little code there, and we can extract the data to figure out whenever they mention any company. But to really understand what's being said on Fox News, I did something I thought I never would. I actually watched Fox News.
A day that will live in shame.
And let me just get this out of the way. I have absolutely nothing against Fox News. Hell, I don't even know if they broadcast to South Africa. I mean, wouldn't want those good-for-nothing, border-jumping, Obama-loving African immigrants coming over to the land of the free. No sirree. Jokes aside though, after reading through the transcripts, Fox News is everything I imagined and just so much more.
Now, normally you could just say, well, they're dumb. That's why they're in TV in the first place, reading scripts that somebody else wrote. I mean, it really is like Anchorman, if you want to be totally honest about it. Hair hats reading words they don't understand. That is true. That's actually what it is.
Now that we have the unadulterated wisdom of Tucker Carlson and the gang, we can now trade based on it. We're going to perform 2 strategies. First, whenever Fox mentions a stock, we're going to enter a short position and then exactly a day later, exit the short position. For the uninformed, selling is like when you borrow a friend's Pokemon card and then you sell it immediately. You hope that the price of Pokemon cards will go down from, let's say, $10 to $8. You then buy it for $8 and you give it back to your friends. The $2 difference will just be profit for you. And that is essentially what shorting is. You make money when the share decreases in value rather than increases in value like you would when traditionally owning the share. But why are we shorting the mentioned shares? Well, to answer that, we have to use a little bit of logic to contextualize Fox's mentions of these shares. We could use sentiment analysis to figure out if Fox felt good or bad about a stock. However, that's just not necessary. We can just check if the phrase Joe Biden is mentioned anywhere in the transcript, and if Joe Biden is mentioned, that means it's negative sentiment. However, given Fox News' obsession with Joe Biden,
President Biden's Joe Biden, napper-in-chief,
complainer-in-chief,
sleepy Joe Biden.
we can therefore just cut out the middleman and short every stock on Fox News. Okay, cool. The second strategy will be for my conservative brothers. I don't want them to feel like I'm targeting the right or they just left out. But
Damn, fam, you got the whole chat laughing.
every time a share is mentioned on Fox News, we are going to buy a share and hold it until the recording of this video, which was supposed to be the 6th of June, 2022. Our portfolio will therefore be directly proportionate to the number of mentions in Fox News broadcasts, and we'll just see how that portfolio performs in comparison to our first portfolio. And we're ready to go. Shorting Foxnews gives us this graph, and there are quite a few things to note. First, a massive W, brothers. I literally cannot miss a profit of over $700 from the 10th of May to the 5th of June. Now, I have to emphasize this massively. It's a tiny sample size, and as you can see from the data, we are being carried by the outperformance of Tesla and Google. In fact, considering everything else is within $50 of zero, I would wager it's just noise. And I could tell you the p-value and the actual significance of our results, but I'm just going to say, source, trust me, bro. Moving on to our second strategy, this is where it actually gets interesting. Investing in a portfolio directly proportionate to Foxnews mentions, and you're not going to believe this, gives us this graph. 44% annualized and a return of over $8,000. And that's obviously in large part thanks to Google being mentioned over 90 times in the previous month while having a massive resurgence. The bag definitely has me wanting to sell my soul to the Republican Party. Just like Ted, I still supported Trump after he called my wife ugly. Cruz. All jokes aside though, if there's something you should take away from the video, it's the fact that, according to this paper, a greater number of mentions in the news corresponds to greater trading volume of a certain share. And it's well known that a greater volume in the trading of a share is correlated with a greater movement in the share's price, whether it be up or down. It would therefore be reasonable to expect a relationship between greater mentions in the news and greater absolute movement in the share price of a share. And that is essentially the hypothesis. And so finally, what have we learned here today? Absolutely nothing. And that wraps up another installment of Financial FoolAround. Thank you to everyone who stuck around this long. If you want to catch more episodes of Financial FoolAround, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.